Today coming up, how to actually create depth in your mix and how to write catchy melodies.
What do you say? Don't know how to spell it out for you. Let's run away.
Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. It's an extremely sunny, warm Sunday in fall. I actually never had so beautiful, perfect weather here in my hometown in Düsseldorf, Germany. So I went outside for the entire day after my crazy birthday party, relaxed a little bit with Vanessa, walked around, shot a lot of amazing drone shots. This thing is so amazing. I still have so much fun flying with it every time. It's still a little scary. And at the moment I'm trying to collect as many drone shots as I can for my next upcoming single to have like a background for the lyric video. So today, not heading to the studio, just sitting here taking care of business stuff the rest of the day and also doing the next edition of track submits. Welcome to Track Submits, the segment in my daily vlog where I listen to your music, give you feedback and try to help you to improve, and also get feedback from all of you other guys down below in the comments to help out these people just making better music. The first track is by Shuba. He's 27 years old, is making music for 4 years, and he wants some general feedback for his tracks, so let's just hit play. Yeah, it's a solid big room EDM track. I like it, like the arrangement is really good. The mixing is also solid. There's nothing like really sticking out because usually most people have like problems with the low end, either the kick or the bass is too loud or even both, and then everything gets really muddy. That's definitely not the case here, but I see like the... No, Siri.
Ich verstehe leider nicht.
And then the second people figure that out and have like a solid overall mix that is balanced, not too much high end, not too much mids, not too much low end, everything's like kind of sounding good. The second thing most people struggle then with, and that's also the case in this song, is the second people get it balanced, they tend to make all of the elements kind of the same loudness, put all of them in the foreground. The elements are not really placed because usually if you have a big room EDM track, the kick is very important and should be noticeable, especially the click, the top part of the kick. The bass, actually not that much. Of course you hear it on a big huge festival system, but on normal speakers or in your studio, the bass should be actually pretty soft, or at least like controlled in the low end, going well with the kick, sidechaining, EQing and all these kind of things I already talked about on the channel. And then you have your main synthesizer that is usually kind of the replacement for vocals, that is like the main melody, the main thing of the song, the catchy thing that will get stuck in your head, hopefully. But then you have a lot of other elements that you should try to just put a little bit more in the background, like ambient sounds, pad sounds. Just don't make everything the same loudness or have everything up front and present, because this will make your track sound really crowded, and the more crowded it sounds, the less polished it sounds. Usually for club tracks, and especially for the drops of club tracks, the emptier they sound, the better actually, almost to the point where they are boring. And then you just fill it with a little bit of reverb and ambient in the background. And this way it will sound more subtle, more polished, more professional, because if it's everything just right in your face, it starts to sound a little cheap. So on your next track, try that out. Put the main elements a little bit more in the foreground and the other elements a little bit more in the back, and just have more space for the main things. And I'm pretty sure this will help you. That's really the second step after getting like an overall good balance. Let's get to the second track. It's by Omer, 17 years old, producing for 2 years, and just want some general feedback. Good track. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's a club track. It's almost just kick, bass, a little bit of vocal samples, but I think that's a very functional club track. I'm pretty sure Sharon J would play something like this and also release it on his Bunny Tiger label. So if you're interested, get in touch with me. I will try to pitch it to him. That's exactly the stuff he would release. And I like it. It's a little G-housey kind of, and definitely something that will work in a club. The mixing could need a little bit more high-end. It sounds very dull, which club tracks usually do, and I think in this case it could be fixed in the mastering process because the elements between each other have like the right balance, so it's just about getting the loudness out of the track and giving it that little bit of polished top end. Kick sounds good, very important for this kind of music. Bass sounds really good and dark and gangster ish, kind of, you know what I mean. I also like the chopped vocal bits and also like the accents on certain bass notes with this other synthy sound. Makes it interesting enough but still repetitive enough to be a club track. So really good, just keep it up with this kind of style and try to get it released. I think this could be definitely out on some of those club labels. The next one is by Rafi. He is 21 years old, making music for 5 years. He wants to know about the middle section of his track, if I have any tips for him, how his mixing is, and please be honest. Okay, let's listen to it. The part right after the drop with the piano sounds really amazing. Well balanced, everything is where it should be. I love the fuzzy bass sound. The piano sounds good. The main part though is also like the bottom end is good, like the kick and bass, really nice. The kick is especially good, the best that I heard today. But the main synthesizer sound, it's a little bit too high in the frequencies. I would just try out another sound or maybe lowering it by 1 octave, maybe blending it with an octave lower synth and layering it kind of and getting something that doesn't sound that high. And the main melody, at least to me, is too hectic. There are like too many notes in one bar. Just make it a little bit more chilled. It's I think too much for the rest of the vibe of the track. I kind of have the feeling that the low end, the bass part, the mid part, everything is kind of stable and has its flow, and the top melody just sits on top, doesn't really belong to it, and is just so hectic and so fast that it's a little bit separated from the rest of the track. So I think the mixing is solid, but by changing the main melody and the sound of the main melody, I think you could definitely improve this track. But that's just like my personal opinion. Some people really love those hectic, fast-paced kind of melody kind of things. Next up, I see Jon Sine, I hope that's right. 17 years old, makes music for 1 year. What can I do to make my song catchier? First of all, the track is a little bit too repetitive. It's like 2 minutes long and it's just like the same kind of loop going on. So very ambient, more like background film kind of music. And this kind of music isn't usually that catchy. It's more intended to be in the background. If you want to make it catchier, it has to change a whole lot more. You have to have like a really strong main melody. The one you have going on at the moment is like too mellow. It's just not the right type to make it catchy. Catchy melodies should be always monophonic because they are replacing kind of a human voice. So if you don't have a singer, songwriter on top of your tracks, a vocal track, and not really catchy vocals because they also have lyrics, and remembering the lyrics and the melody is way easier. So if it's just like notes, try to make it simple, repetitive, not too repetitive that it gets boring. So repeating it for 4 bars is usually good, and then having like slight variations at the end every 4 or 8 bars. That's what helps to make it like constantly repeating, to make it get stuck in your head, but also not making it completely boring. And the second people listen to it, it repeats, they're kind of in the groove, and then if something changes, it makes it very interesting. And making it catchy isn't really easy, like writing catchy melodies. That's something you will need a lot of experience for. I usually write like 10 melodies at least on top of like a drum groove that I've made. And then I wait one day and then decide which one of them is the best. So usually with catchy melodies, it's just making a bunch, picking the best one. It's not like that there is a formula to immediately write the perfect melody. That's usually not really happening. Sometimes the stupid melodies that are super simple and easy are the ones that get stuck the easiest in your head. So don't make it too complicated. I mean, just listen to songs that are extremely catchy. They're usually extremely simple, extremely repetitive stuff that everyone can just hum along, sing along, keep the notes all in one range so everyone can sing them. Don't go too high, don't go too low, just keep it extremely simple. So that's already it for today's edition of Track Submits. If you want to submit me your tracks and get feedback, the link will be down below in the description. And I also checked out a couple of other tracks. Some of them I couldn't feature because they were edits or remixes and YouTube would block them immediately. But there was a lot of stuff in there that was actually pretty good enough to be released. So if you're interested to release your music, I launched this new sineUP service. You might already heard about it. The link for that is also in the description, but it's at the moment invite only. And most of the dates for this year are already gone. But if you're interested to release your own music for a very small fee and keep all of the rights and keep all of the profits, that's the place for you to go. So don't forget to like, subscribe. We will see us tomorrow again, then in the studio. And don't forget, at the end of the week, Amsterdam dance event coming up. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm also a little bit scared because it's usually just like crazy business, crazy party, and almost no sleep at all.
I think I know what we need to do. Perfect can wait. You're ugly as beautiful to me, so stay.